everybody, this is Rob Case, creator of X-Swim Fit and X-Swim for Surfers. I wanted to just take a quick moment and answer a commonly asked question that I've been receiving over email lately. There's actually 3 questions around the same topic. And the topic really is, what do I do with my hand when I enter the water? Do I go in? The first question really is, do I go in with my thumb, flat, with my pinky? What angle should I enter the water with my hand? Well, I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to talk about what do you do with your hand on the recovery part of your stroke, on the recovery portion of the stroke. And I'm actually going to start with what we do in swimming, and then I'll bridge the gap into surfing paddling. So in swimming, as we go out and we glide, we're on our side and we're gliding, we have our shoulders stacked. Well, the motion is engaged from our elbow first. And that's the first key takeaway, is that you have to engage your recovery motion with your elbow coming up and coming forward first. And what you notice here is that my hand is just kind of hanging out, right? So I engage with my elbow first, and my hand just moves right along with that motion. There's no style. I'm not styling it out, making it look cool, or putting any sort of tension into my hand, because that just adds to the energy that I'm using. Right? And I want to reduce the energy that I'm using at any point during my paddling and swimming. So as I'm coming up, I'm engaging first with my elbow. It comes up first, and then it moves forward, and my arm and my hand just follows suit. Now, when it comes to the entrance into the water now, I'm not thinking about what angle I'm taking. I'm just doing whatever comes natural. So it sometimes comes in a little bit more on my thumb. Sometimes it comes flat, and sometimes I even will do my rotation before I even stretch out, and sometimes I'll enter with my pinky. It all depends on how I'm swimming, right? But the bottom line is don't think about it, right? Just do whatever comes natural to you, and make sure that if you're going to think about anything, think about leading with your elbow on your recovery as you're coming around. And the other thing, if you want to think about something, if you're real analytical like I am, is when you enter the water, focus on entering the water as quietly as possible with your hand. As quietly as possible. And I know it's a strange concept to think about, but don't go in and splash the water and disturb the water. Just go in and just as quietly as possible, even if you slowed down your stroke, and just kind of gently put it in there. Right? And then the second question is, well, before I get to the second question, watch what happens to my hand when I actually do complete my stroke. So as I'm coming around, elbow engages the motion, and I'm coming around and I enter the water nice and relaxed. And as I take my stroke, watch what happens to the angle of my hand. It rolls onto its pinky. Right? I'll show you that to you again. So I'm coming around, and as I take my stroke and I turn my shoulders, and I'm turning my core as well, it rolls right onto my pinky. And then I'm gliding, right? And I'm not thinking about making that rotation. It's just naturally happening, because it's not my hand that engages the motion. It's my body. It's my hips. It's my shoulders. It's my core. That engages the motion. And I just let my hand follow the rest of my body. So that's really important. Now, transitioning that into surfing paddling is that we don't have stacked shoulders in surfing paddling. We can't do a rotation like this in surfing paddling, because now we have a board, right? Surfing paddling is one of the most inefficient ways to move through the water. Surfboards are not designed to be good paddling boards. They're designed to be good for riding. So bottom line is you're probably just a little bit more flat. It's important to still have a little bit of roll in your stroke, but the bottom line is that you want to lead with your elbow again. Lead with your elbow in your recovery. Keep the hand nice and relaxed. Maybe I'm a little bit less stacked like this on my shortboard. And I enter and I roll just a little bit. And it's just a little bit of a flatter stroke, right? But the bottom line is always lead with your elbow. Don't even think about the hand. All right, so second question that I get asked a lot is, what do I cup it? Do I keep it straight? Right? So the short answer is, cupping it actually reduces your surface area of holding the water. In another video, we talk about the Bernoulli principle and the importance of this concept of holding water. Well, if you cup it, you're actually reducing the surface area. So if anything, you want to keep your hand nice and straight. or really relaxed. But don't consciously think, oh, I'm going to cup it, and don't put so much tension into your hand that you're wasting energy here. Just keep it nice and relaxed. Same as lesson 1. Just keep your hand nice and relaxed. Don't even think about it, really. And then the last question I get asked is, with my fingers, do I keep them spreaded or do I put them together? Again, just keep it nice and relaxed. I usually have my hands just about there. It's not super spread out, but I'm not forcing them together, and because that uses too much energy. I just keep it nice and relaxed, because I know that it's not my hand that engages the power or thrust in my stroke. It's the rest of my body that actually engages the power in the stroke. In another video, I'll talk about the 2 different strokes that surfers use. And professional surfers, they use these 2 different strokes all the time, but they don't even know they're using it, which is pretty amazing. And I'll talk about the 2 different strokes. I'll talk about some other fundamental mechanics in surfing paddling. I hope that this helped you. Leave me a comment, shoot me an email if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to answer any of the questions that you have.